Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? This is Zen from Zen World, and I hope you're having a great day. So we just got the wrap up and the conclusion of Powers of 10, number 6, and we also have House of X number 6 that recently just came out. And again, the two stories intertwine with each other. So this is not so much of a review, but it is kind of a review. Overall, the book is the inclusion of all the stories are a 10 out of 10. Some high moments, some kind of dryish moments, but um, throughout the whole entire story, I was immensely thinking about the book. And I think a good testament to good storytelling is when you're thinking about the book after. House of X and Powers of 10 include psychology, sociology, anthropology, um, just a lot of just a lot of different things, right? In terms of what the mutant races has to go through in order to just kind of like have freedom, so to speak, right? So it's a pretty good book overall. I There's not too much I'm gonna say about the story, but one thing that I am gonna talk about in this video is Moira McTaggart. She was seemingly a character that we knew as a mutant geneticist who just understands how powers work, and she has to me personally, she has become one of the most prominent characters that I have ever read about. And here's why. Her powers are reincarnation, right? But usually when we think about reincarnation just means when you die, you come back as X, Y, and Z, right? For her, it's a little bit more complex, and I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around her powers. And the reason why it's so baffling, right? And here's why. And maybe some of you in the comment section could correct me or just give me a better understanding of her power. But her powers are explained as she has the ability to reincarnate into her original self while still holding the memories um, from her current state. So, for example, her powers manifest when she goes through puberty, or her first menstrual cycle, or whatever it is, right? For a lot of mutants, it's 13 or 14. It's the same for a lot of people in real life, right? They go through puberty at a different age. But for her, if when she goes through puberty, she's able to utilize her powers in a passive sense. I say passive because her powers are not an active power. Passive meaning that she doesn't command the powers, it just happens upon when the need arises. So for her, when she dies, she's reincarnated all the way back into her original self. She doesn't take on a new form, right? But there's a caveat to that power that makes it really mind blowing, right? The caveat to that is that if she dies, she goes back to her original self as a baby, right? But that also means that everything that was with her during that timeline is also reset to the beginning. Am I correct in saying that? Because if I am correct in saying that, that means that when she dies, everything technically resets with her to the point of her birth. That is crazy. That is immensely crazy, and the reason why is because there's so many beings in time in terms of the entire galaxy. That means their whole entire lives are reset just upon her death. That means she is technically connected to everything in her universe. Am I right in saying that? Because it has to be that, and the reason why we know that is when she dies, she goes back and she kind of she's meeting Professor X and everyone for the first time again upon that timeline. So is she creating divergent timelines every time she dies because she's resetting time or that timeline to is she reincarnating everything with her? And when I say reincarnating, she's reincarnating everything to the beginning of her birth, but where they were in their life at that time. It's kind of confusing, but at the same time, that concept alone is so baffling that I'm wondering how come she's not considered a Omega level mutant. Um, or if we were to kind of coin something a little bit different, a Omega level passive mutant. Um, and just to give you clarification, passive powers are just basically like Wolverine, for example. When his healing factor, he doesn't say to his body heal, right? It's kind of like our autonomic system. I don't say to my heart, beat, because if I had to technically think about my heart beating while telling my body to mend wounds at the same time, that it would be too much for my brain to even handle, right? So it's kind of like something that's automatic. Passive is like an automatic power. When she dies at um, after puberty and her powers have set in, she doesn't command the powers to say, "Okay, it's time to reset." Right? She just automatically resets and reincarnates. Right? So that's a passive power. Active power is basically something like Bishop from the X-Men, how he takes in kinetic energy, or Gambit. Gambit takes he charges a card or any other object with kinetic energy, and then he uses it. Right? He is in command of that power. It's not his autonomic system that takes precedence over, or takes control over the power itself. So yeah, so overall, Powers of 10 and House of X was just really great in terms of storyline. I know I'm not really going over the story because I want you to go out and read it and to support Hickman, because I'm looking forward to all the books that are leading up to Dawn of X, which is Excalibur #1, X-Men #1, X-Force #1, the Marauders, Fallen Angels #1, and I think I said New Mutants #1. So that's kind of like the leading up after the cohort of books. So this is the Dawn of X. So I'm happy with the X-Men being back in the spotlight, at least for me, and a lot of other people are enjoying it as well. So let me know what you think. This is Zen from Zen World saying peace, love, and prosperity. I enjoyed everything when it comes to Powers of 10 and House of X. Hickman, you have done it. You have brought back the X-Men to the limelight, and I am appreciative to you and your team. I don't have any pictures or anything to kind of show, but I enjoyed it. So everyone take care. Post in the comments what you thought about it, and I could jam out with you in the comments. I will reply to mostly all the comments because I have, luckily, I have about almost 500 subscribers. So thanks to all the new subscribers. I'm not at like thousands and millions yet, so I could have replied to pretty much everyone if the comment is not too radical, right? And it's appropriate for the comment section. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.